All right, guys, nice and sunny, hot day here in Dubai. And before we start, I just want to say it's been maybe about 14, 15 years since I've seen this hunk of a man. My illegitimate father, it could be, but he's a
brother from a different mother. Yeah.
Brother from a different mother, yeah. Grant Waterman, one of the most famous referees and MCs in UK. Grant, how you doing? Why are you in Dubai?
Well, my good friend, long-time buddy who owns the X Sports, he's involved. He's provided this platform here for the Urbanball fight, and I think that Sean has come up with this concept. Absolutely fantastic entertainment. EX Sport are helping with the event, and they're going to be producing a video game that you can play on your phone. That's people can play for money, and the players are going to have their own NFTs and going to have characters in the game. So
wow.
He's got me over here to get involved. I've worked with him on his fight shows in Thailand, Malaysia, Hong Kong, all over the world. So we go back a long way, and he's brought me over here to get involved. And to say it's a sunny day is an understatement. I think my head is getting a bit crispy already.
I think we're both going to be in pain tomorrow.
We are in trouble, guys. Look, you need to take it out, bro.
Let's go over to our man Sean. Sean Freestyle, you know, from Instagram, TikTok, MySpace, High Five. Any app which has been invented in the last 30 years, he's on it. He's famous. Sean, it's a pleasure to be speaking to you. You're probably the guy that they've based this whole event around in collaboration with the Gumball Rally in UAE, which is one of the most famous rallies worldwide. As you can see behind, we've got some amazing cars. My Mini Metro, they wouldn't let on the tarmac, unfortunately, but we've got some supercars. Sean, tell us what we're doing today and what are you going to be showing the crowd?
Today I'm super excited. Today we're hosting maybe the best urban ball fight I ever produced in the last 10 years. So basically the goal for me is to create the UFC of football. You know, because I'm thinking there is tons of talent everywhere in the world. They're playing football, but for no reason. They want to make as a pro. But sometimes you need a good coach, you need like a good agent, you need like someone who help you. But you know, in one-on-one, you don't need anybody. It's you and the ball, and you have to kill the guy in front of you. That's what I want to create. So we do this concept, but we do this in an amazing location in front of many people with crazy supercar. So I'm super excited.
And of course, that's no wonder Grant's here, because you've got the best in the business. If you're going to do a fight meets football kind of format, you've got the #1 MC in the world, referee. He knows it all. He's been around all the fights. Grant, you've done fights, but this is a first for you. I mean, what does this remind you of? Any kind of shows you've been worldwide?
No, well, I was talking with Sean earlier and a couple of others, and we were making a connection. Sean has taken some of the best rules, the most entertaining facets from other styles like panos and futsal, and combine them to make a new, it's not necessarily a new sport, it's still football, but he's brought them together to create something that's not only competitive, but super entertaining. And the one thing that I learned a long time ago about the fight industry and combat sports, you can put a fight show on and everyone goes on about sport. It's a sport, it should be this, should be that. Fighting is not a sport, it's entertainment. Yeah. It's the entertainment business. People only watch it because they want to be entertained, whether it be by knockouts or whatever. But at the end of the day, the entertainment starts before the fight with the smack talk, the presentation of the fighters, the way Sean talks, even your smile, man, on the camera. You know, it looks fantastic. you know how to sell yourself, you know how to sell a show. And it's going to be something that I think is going to become a spectacle, and it is going to grow and grow. And having some of these young guys, giving them an opportunity and a platform to become superstars, earn money, and become popular. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Grant said. I think the fight game, like you said, it is entertainment. Hence why we see Conor McGregor and these guys so famous. You've been around the world. We've trained our whole life. You get some guys who are superb fighters, but they never make it on the big scale because they can't speak or they're camera shy.
Man, how many times back in the day when the cameras were first hitting some of the guys in the UK, and they say, have you got anything to say to your opponent? And they go, may the best man win.
Good luck.
And good luck.
Fair play.
Good luck, fair play. No. I think you've got to, there's a fine line, because one thing perhaps I don't like so much about the UFC, I mean, you see it too much, the two guys come together, they stare at each other, and then they push each other. It's becoming a bit the same over and over again. And you've got to remember, okay, it's entertainment, but it is still a sport. There should still be some honor and respect, but there should still be
some fire, some spice.
Some spice, man. Yeah, some chili.
Yeah, that's why I think what you're doing, Sean, is going to take off, purely because, as Grant said, the fight game, there's a niche market. A lot of young children, you don't really want to see if they're swearing or certain like ground and pound. You know, I've got kids, I don't really want to see them, a big man on top elbowing someone in the face. Rather this, it's friendly to all demographics as well as entertainment. So this is why I think this could really be the next. Who knows? We might be sitting with Grant here doing a World Cup kind of rally for this one day, you know?
Exactly, and there is something you need to think about. The new generation, they cannot spend 90 minutes to watch a game. You know, this is statistic. The football game is too long for them. You know, what we provide them here, it's a new format of football, and everybody play this format at home. We all play with our friend, with one goalkeeper. We call it a qualifier. So like you win and you go to the next round till there is only 2 players at the end. That's what I used to play with my friend, and every time I go to a country, they told me, oh, I played this game back then. So it's like, kind of I package this back old style of football in a new way, and I'm trying to make it also for the new generation, because I feel like when you film with the phone, you are close to the people, you can see the tricks better, you are not like far away like in the pitch, you know, you can see like some nutmeg, some tricks
intimate.
around.
It's intimate.
So I'm trying to, as you said, I'm trying to combine like so many elements, from content creation to like entertainment to sport to also like value and respect in the same place, and have a good fun.
And going back to the UFC, you know, it's Vale Tudo in Brazil started back in the 50s or 60s with Helio Gracie, and it took a while for that to evolve into the spectacle the UFC is and MMA is today. So this is what's happened. Sean's watched these different styles, you know, coming along over the past 15, 20 years. But we were playing, I mean, I'm 55, I was playing in the street one-on-one with the guys and 45 years ago.
Yeah.
You know.
What is the most common question in football? What do you think?
The offside rule.
No, the most common question is like, who is the best, Messi or Ronaldo?
Yeah. Right, nowadays it is, right?
This is the most common question. Every time I go somewhere, they ask me this question. Who is your favorite, Messi or Ronaldo? That was the case for 10 years in a row. Then, imagine one day you have Messi versus Ronaldo.
EX Sports, if you're listening, get your sponsorship packages ready. We're trying to get
checkbook ready.
Get the checkbook ready. Messi, Ronaldo here, 2023, all right? Totally from EX Sports. The money's on you, okay?
That's it.
But Grant, I know you've traveled the world. I think I've bumped into you in Moscow, many places. Have you ever been to a location like this? And I'm not being biased because me and Sean live in the UAE, but I mean, just if we turn around, all the cameras catch behind us, the tallest building on earth is right behind us. And I mean, the biggest mall in the world also to our left, I think, as well.
I tell you, I mean, there's one other place I went to is Hong Kong. That's it's like being in a movie, and maybe Tokyo, but Dubai is like being in a movie. It's surreal. The height of the buildings, the Burj Khalifa in the background here, it's nuts. But it's, I mean, is it? You know, you think you're in a movie, and there's something behind it that, you know, like a stage, and everyone's an actor. This is real, and this is the place. There's money here. Everybody wants to be entertained. I mean, where can you see a collection of over 130 supercars? What is there, 200 million, 300 million dollars?
Amazing.
I don't know anywhere this happens anywhere else in the world apart from Dubai.
Are you sure not Southend-on-Sea in Essex?
Well, maybe.
Brighton, Pier?
With my Ford Focus. Yeah.
So, Sean, what do we have planned today? I mean, what are the spectators? I mean, people are gathering around now. What are they going to see today? What can you expect? Why should families come? Why should people come to watch?
So you have different type of entertainment. We are running a competition all across the world, and this time will be the GCC final. We went to Bahrain, Saudi, Qatar and UAE to select the best player. They're going to play semi-final and final to elect who is the best from the GCC region. You know, we call that urban baller, right? And also I brought 2 influencers from Belgium and France and going to face off in a real match, 5 rounds. And might be the first time ever like that. So that's what they're gonna see, and I'm also gonna play against some guests. Some of them turned down because they're scared to be humiliated, so I'm still waiting the final name. Yeah, because when you go in the one-on-one, you need to assume, bro.
Well, when you know you're gonna get humiliated.
Yeah.
It's like voluntary humiliation playing against you.
I think you need to forget Messi and Ronaldo. Let's get Bruce Buffett versus Grant Waterman next year as well. The 2 biggest MCs in mixed martial arts fight. You know, it's a good way to settle beef as well, I think, in the octagon. For
Perfect.
charity, you could get MMA fighters, boxers, couldn't we? We could have
a
F1
straightener
drivers.
straightener on the Urbanball pitch. Yeah.
Why not? And it's safe, enjoyment, and I mean, okay, it'll still be competitive, but I think it's a good way to settle differences as well.
Perfect.
I think, you know, you mentioned there with these influencers, we got 5 3-minute rounds.
Yes.
Now 5 3-minute rounds in this heat, and these guys are maybe not as highly trained athletes as the others here. This is going to really be interesting of how they deal with that.
That's also like the interesting part, because when you are tired, you make mistake. So that's
Yeah.
when you open the leg, that's when you don't defend, and that's where you can be KO. Because the rules is you can score point with the goal, but you can also score point with the skills. There is 5 skills, which is the nutmeg, going over, sombrero, searching for the ball, or ankle breaker. That's the 5 skills official. And if you're like tired, you might not pay attention in certain ways,
Yeah.
and that's where you can get KO basically.
Did I just hear you say ankle breaker?
Yeah.
And surely that's not literally an ankle breaker, is it? Otherwise, we've got to go back on what we said about MMA.
No, it's like an ankle breaker. We call it when the guy is falling down. So we call that the cross in basketball.
Oh, okay.
So you ankle break himself.
Oh, I see. And who's the biggest name you'd say in that kind of world right now, apart from you? Who's like the Khabib or the Conor McGregor of the extreme sports, kind of soccer, street football?
There is some names, but in this format, no yet. Nobody is like.
So it's it's a new sport.
It's a new sport because it's totally new. I brought the rules a couple of months ago. Basically, I was trying that for years and years, and I see the format now is like mature enough. There is some name, like there is the F2 freestyler from the UK. There is Tuzani from Holland. There is some guys from Brazil also who are quite good. But I will say that's what I'm doing. Like I'm traveling the world to spot the talent and give them the platform and create new superstar. Because if I had the chance to collect that many followers all over the world because they like to see my nutmeg and stuff like that, I'm guessing there is other guys who are more talented than me. They can do the same, but just don't know how to market themselves. So what I'm trying to do is to help them. So I want to create the Conor McGregor of this Urbanball fight, basically.
And if you were to have one footballer in the history of the game you could play one-on-one with, your dream person, who would it be?
At his prime?
In his prime.
Maradona.
In his prime.
Maradona?
Yeah, I agree.
Because
even though we're English fans and we're from England, and he did cheat in '86, but the second goal, I think, made up for it, didn't it, Grant?
Well, if you watch some of his his stuff in the games, go and watch the documentary of Maradona and some of the stuff he did. His ball control, he was connected with the ball like nobody
Exactly.
else, including Pele, including Ronaldo.
And he's the one who influenced the freestyle world because he was one of the first to like juggle the ball before the game and you know doing some kind of entertainment. He didn't even warm up, you remember?
With his laces
he was,
undone.
that.
Yeah, the theme song, didn't he? And he did the
exactly. So he inspired a lot, a whole generation. Then after Ronaldinho took off also, Ronaldinho was the next one, let's say. But that's why I want to play against Maradona because he has also character. I think if I trash talk Ronaldinho, he will not reply. But Maradona, for sure, he will tell me like some crazy stuff, and I want to see that.
And which are some of the big names you've gone against or you've nutmegged or pranked with or, because I see a lot of your social media content and it's crazy. You're in the streets of Milan, London, you're around the world, and Neymar Jr., I think I saw a clip with Neymar, the Brazilian superstar.
Yeah, I had the chance to play against Neymar. That was my first real battle. I kind of like make agree with Red Bull. I can have 1 minute with him, but nobody know what I'm gonna do. I pay my ticket, pay the cameraman, went there. He come to the stage, say, hey Neymar, one-on-one. He said, what? Yeah, one-on-one. I give him the ball. I know he will be confident because he think he's the man. Yeah. So I was waiting him to be ready, and he make a mistake. I took the ball from him, and at that time nobody know about the t-shirt tricks. When you hide the ball in your t-shirt, nobody knew these tricks. So when I did it, like he didn't know where the ball was. He was looking behind him, and like this clip became viral. And I knew that when I came to the stage, I knew that was my game plan basically. Like a fight. I had a game plan, and it worked, and the video went viral. And from there, I had the chance to play against Eden Hazard, Paul Pogba, so many players. Ronaldinho as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Grant, do you think you can beat Sean one-on-one?
No, I can do 3 keepy-uppies, but that's about it, But I was watching, I was doing some research last night. I didn't realise that you were the guy who they made up as the old man. You've seen this video with an old guy who goes into a
really?
place,
Yes.
and there's some youngsters, and they made him up with a grey mustache and grey hair, and he's acting all fragile, and then you go crazy there, and everyone's cheering.
And the funny thing is, like, I was in competition with some of the football players, the biggest name, but they were too expensive for the commercial, and I told them on the casting, I said, listen, if you took them, you will have to fake the move. What I'm gonna do, you just make me up, and I will not have to pretend. I will crush those guys.
Yeah.
And that's also why the commercial was so successful, is because like I did the real move. All the move is the move I do on the street every time. It's not like I'm,
And the crowd were real as well. They didn't.
For the 5 first minutes they were real, but after they understand.
Yeah.
There is no way one guy go down, pants down the guy. You know? There is no way.
And where did you film that? I saw that on
It was
on social media.
Mexico. In Mexico.
Okay, so you're lucky no dodgy cartels chased you after that. If you embarrassed them with a nutmeg, you could have been on El Chapo's list.
Yeah, for sure.
So Grant, Sean, are we ready for today? Are we going to have a good night? Are we going to have a good show? I see kids building up. I see stalls with Red Bulls, which we need right now. There's no towel stalls. My head's burning. We're sweating like, as we say in UK, prostitute in church. And you might have to edit that. And yeah.
Haram.
And I have a question for you guys. If you imagine you can play this game one-on-one, if you have to face one football player, who it will be?
Yeah, you said it. For me, Maradona, and I agree with Grant. I saw that Netflix documentary recently, and man, the guy was another level. Just his story, his character was different, you know? And it's not like nowadays they're all athletes. He had a bit of a pot belly, he was smoking, drinking, and still that good, you know? So for me, Maradona is my dream. If not, second would be Zidane.
Yeah, the same.
Gaza.
Yeah.
Because then I can go for a
No
few. I'll go for a
way.
few pints with him
Yeah,
afterwards.
that's cool. That's a cool fight.
Yeah,
I
Gaza's
love it.
legendary.
I love this.
Gaza is legendary in the UK. He's had a hard life, like poor guy, like with addictions. But in 1990 World Cup, he was up there with anyone in that World Cup, skill-wise. I think he went to Italy after that World
Well,
Cup.
he's a fine example of someone with absolute raw talent, and he threw it away. And just to mention, you know, anything to do with sport, I'm in love with. And I know this is street football, but it's giving kids something promising and productive to get off the streets. You know, drink drugs and anything else that's taking society downwards. Sport lifts people up. It's such a positive thing. Fitness, health, and sport. So you know, that's something that should be promoted as well.
He's very right, and especially in the UAE, there's an obesity issue with the youngsters. Actually, Grant, you might not be aware of, and the younger generation. So there's a lot of campaigns by the Sheikh here to combat that through sport. And I think what a better way to do it than soccer, because everyone watches it.
Football.
Football. I'm saying soccer. We call it football, but just
You're
for those,
Americanizing something. Come
football.
on.
And I think it's a great way. Yeah, he's right. Schools, everyone in England's going to hammer me for that comment. But
Yeah, for sure.
when you're based here for 15
done,
years,
bro.
you have to say soccer.
They say soccer here?
They say mix.
I was in the
For
US the last
Americans
week,
watch
bro.
it.
It's the same. I was fighting with everyone. Soccer,
Yeah.
no, football. Yeah, the whole week.
Yeah. They call their game of football, they carry a ball around with their hands. Why would you call it football?
I have no idea.
I mean, look, there's already kids going up. Kids, if you can scream, who would you love to see play here live? If you could get anyone now today, any celeb, who would you like to see play football? Sean. Okay,
Sean
there you go.
Garnier. Well
You've got it.
done.
There you go, Sean. See, he's a fan favourite already. People are lining up. It's not even 1 p.m. It's maybe 700 degrees. Totally not giving us water. EX Sports having to give us a towel or sunscreen. So this might be my last podcast ever because I might be in intensive care tomorrow. But
It's a good way to cut weight. Yeah.
It's a good way to cut weight, but unfortunately, I'm not like you with water. Mine's a lot of fat and Haagen-Dazs. So, Sean, is there any chance we could do a celebrity gathering like this one day, and I could bring all the influencers and maybe MMA fighters? Me and Grant could bring a lot of the top names. We could do MMA versus boxing even. You know, can you imagine on the football field? No one's ever done it. Why not? That would be something we could work on.
That would be super sick, and it's good to cross collab, you know, to involve other sports into this format because everybody kicked the ball. Everybody had the experience to play with the ball, right?
Every boy.
And we can adapt the game also. There is different format I didn't introduce yet where we can play multiple guys in the same time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it will be a massive pleasure.
Yeah, show me one boy in Europe that didn't kick a ball when he was 5 years old. Not well, maybe nowadays, but not a few years ago.
No,
We
impossible.
all played football.
For sure.
Every playtime at school, after school, everyone.
And now exsports.io are coming with water. So, you got to keep the podcast real, so let him just see that. You see this guy on camera, guys? He brings celebrities like Grant Waterman and
Hang on.
Sean here.
Brought
I know
this-
me, and
He's brought the smallest bottle of water I've ever
it's
seen.
like hot water for tea, but anyway. And I think what we should do is when this goes up, we should let people comment in the comment section who would they like to have here, influencer, celebrity-wise, next time, because then we'll give what the people want to see. You know, sometimes it helps with events.
What's the best matchup, basically? That's what also I want to create, and I think that's the interesting part of this format. We don't create like a World Cup with like 32 players. We want to see him against him, and that's what also make the fight business interesting for me. I was not a fighter. I never follow it, but once I get hit by some storytelling between two guys, that's how I follow the fight. And that's why I want to bring also like what about like Algeria versus Morocco, and that's what we're gonna have today, like Saudi versus Bahrain or Qatar versus UAE.
Okay, we don't want nuclear guerrilla warfare here, bro. We just want to have some football games. Some countries I think we won't mix, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
It's a friendly and it's a good way to do it. And
you say that, but sport is another. It can get politicized. You know, it's happened in the Olympics, etc. But one thing in the fight game that I've noticed in Muay Thai, MMA, when you travel around the world, there'll be someone from Israel fighting someone from Afghanistan, or there's no politics, no racial differences. Once two guys step inside the cage,
that's the beautiful thing.
And there's no reason why they step on a football pitch here. And
you almost say soccer. You got him, bro.
Yeah,
you got him. And you're not gonna be able to talk in the mic, bro, if you say soccer too much.
We've got mutual friends in UK who are gonna crucify us for these comments.
I can't believe I did that.
I make sure I put it on TikTok.
No, but he's Grant's spot on. Like in the fight game, wherever he travels in the world, he could be in Asia, South America. He could go to any gym. It's one language. You might not even speak English there. It's just like want to roll. You know, it's one language, and the camaraderie. Like after you hug, bump fists, and it's like a respect. And that's the good thing about sport. Like he said, it takes away the feuds. There's of course competition. People want to win, but it takes away that nastiness. And
exactly.
I think the more we did this, the more. I don't want to sound like Michael Jackson, heal the world, but the place would be better if people got fitter, got in the sport. I think it'll be you'd see a decrease in mental health issues as well. The fitter you are, the more, happy you are.
On that one.
No, but the more happy you are as a person, you wake up, you release endorphins, and like Grant says, and a few friends of mine, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling stressed, work out. Whatever it is, go for a walk, burpees, punch a bag, play football, ride a bike, swim, exercise, because you'll never regret it. There's no way that's a disadvantage rather than a benefit. So I think things like this, anything which helps the youth or people stay fit and move with a fun angle is just a benefit to anyone.
Yeah, no one's ever gone to the gym, had a workout, and come out and said that was a waste of time. I don't think anyone's ever played football as a youngster and come home and thought that was a waste of time. Never.
Yeah.
That was the best part of their day, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm gonna put Grant on the spot here. Grant, just for the viewers, how young are you?
55 and a half.
Literally, he's like a rock. I'm not even lying. Grant was MCing when I was fighting. Look at that. So we say martial art in this world. That's an example of what you should aspire to. I own a gym and look at me, so I'm gonna stay here. But my point is, he's happy. He's always smiling. Look at his face. Look at my wrinkles. So there's always benefits to it. Like what you're doing, Sean. Whatever sport is, if it's badminton, table tennis, what you're doing, what Grant does, what we all do, having gyms, having events, it's just, I think, great for the community always. And there's no disadvantage in whatsoever. All the parents out there, put your kids into sport. And I think it's so important because it's a new generation of computer games, Fortnite, sitting on laptops. And I've got 3-year-olds who know how to swipe up on YouTube. And at 3, I didn't even know what a tree was,
Yeah.
So the world's changed a lot.
But this, we're digressing. We're going off slightly off subject, but this dopamine addiction is a terrible thing. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that you're mentioning. When we go back to saying that the people want to watch short stuff, instead of a 90-minute match. And
the thing is, because I was on this process of creating content and getting followers and being online, so I understand the dopamine side effect, creating video and get views. I was thinking okay, tomorrow, what video I should do to collect followers or to get attention? So I need to create a full situation. And I was always thinking what about if I just have a goal and people around and I can play a real sport, and that's gonna be my content. So basically, I would just want to give an interest for the youth to just play a cool sport, but at the same time, they can create cool content because it's meaningful. I'm gonna beat that guy. I'm gonna do these tricks, and that's how I learn these tricks. Oh, guys, you like these tricks? That's how I'm gonna break down for you to learn it. So it's basically a whole circle of creating content around that sport, and also the fact you have to film from close because it's a one-on-one. You are more in the TikTok, Instagram, Reels era because you are really close to the camera. So it's fit perfectly to the world we are now, but also you don't slip to the bad side of social media. You create content, but meaningful content.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, as we see the sponsors, and we're working in collaboration with the Gumball 3000, and then we're not turning our big heads, but as you can see in the background, look at these cars, guys. If you could, like we spoke about football, if you could have one car, your dream car, what would it be? Grant, first you, and don't say a Vauxhall Corsa, please.
Man. The problem with having a car like that is you've got to have the resources to run it, maintain it, and have it serviced.
Grant's got to be so detailed, hasn't he? Just choose your dream car and all the services is free.
It's got to be a Bugatti Chiron.
Okay, what colour's your Bugatti? You know, he's from the team Top G, I guess. Sean, you?
Bro, I'm not really specially of the car, but I will say Bugatti Chiron for sure.
You're not going to support your French country like a Citroen or Peugeot?
Never.
206?
Never. No.
At least we've got the Aston Martin and the Range Rover, you know?
Wow.
I have the Range Rover.
And also, guys, so...
And you?
Oh, me, yeah, I think a Bugatti. I actually like where the DJ booth is, that big kind of army military kind of thing, because, you know...
I was going to say G-Wagon, but...
Yeah, you know why here? The people, it's very bad to drive here. A lot of people hit your cars when you park in spaces. There's no etiquette like the UK right now. It's so many nationalities, and some people, I don't think they passed their test. No indicators used. So I think I need one of those kind of like tanks so I can put it anywhere, and if someone hits it, it's not really going to scratch. Exactly. Saves me costs of repairs all the time.
It's like a Paris to Dakar rally kite vehicle thing, isn't it? Yeah.
So Sean, we're going to speak about fighting for you because we're talking about football, and yeah, we've got knowledge, but who's your favourite MMA fighter right now, or of all time?
No, I like the legacy of Khabib, to be honest. I like the fact, there is Conor, who was like the guy who's really trash talker, swearing a lot, and this guy came with a different attitude, but he had also, with the respect, find his character, putting the hat on and stuff like that. So he find his own code and he cracked the code basically, and he become the new. I love what he did for this reason, and the fact he was undisputed as well. So yeah, he's my favorite.
I'm gonna ask Grant now, and he knows a lot of these fighters know Grant personally, so this is gonna put him on the spot. Grant, of all time, who's your favorite mixed martial artist?
Do you know what? I mean, I've been involved in this game for 25 years longer, and the one thing I loved back in the day was when Chuck Liddell figured out jiu-jitsu, and he figured out that you don't have to become an expert in jiu-jitsu to beat jiu-jitsu. You've got to become an expert in anti-jiu-jitsu to beat jiu-jitsu. Keep them on their feet and knock them out. And Chuck Liddell's time was very special.
So exciting.
I loved the Pride era. Vanderlei Silva and those guys, Rampage, Crow Cop. Modern day, you can't deny that Conor took MMA to another level.
100%.
And to become a superstar in such a short time, and as big as he exploded, was fantastic. And I don't think there's any fighter on the planet who you just wanted to tune in and watch the press conference, apart from Conor.
Yeah. Also, which fight? Who's the biggest fight you've ever emceed for? Which event? And a fighter's been on there.
MC'd or refereed?
MC'd or refereed. You've been associated on a live event with. Because I know you've been around, like, even when I was fighting guys, and that was a long time ago. I mean, Grant was my referee.
I think that the two most memorable were on a show called Phoenix. It was a Muay Thai event in Lebanon, in Beirut, and there was two different shows. And on their first event, they had Buakaw.
Oh, wow.
In the main event, which was a superhero of mine. Yeah. And I introduced him in the main event. And the crowd went nuts. Out in Lebanon there was like flares going off, and I thought I was being attacked, but this was just the fans. And then the next show they had Sanchai on as the main event. So Buakaw won a world title, then Sanchai won a world title.
This is Messi, Ronaldo of Muay Thai. Yeah. Honestly, it is.
So that was pretty special. But I look back now, and I didn't realise when I was refereeing the big cage rage events, Vitor Belfort, Tank Abbott. Anderson Silva, Melvin Manhoff, Cyborg, all these names, even Bisping.
Oh yeah, of course, Bisping started there. Yeah.
I mean, I used to referee Bisping, then we'd go and get drunk after the show and not go to sleep.
UK MMA.
And then see you later. And then the next year he's winning the Ultimate Fighter.
Amazing.
But I didn't realise the relevance of all these guys. And I used to promote a really small show down in Portsmouth with 600 people watching this show. I had Brad Pickett fight his first fight down there. I had all these guys making their debuts, Paul Daly, and I even had Jose Aldo fight on my show for 200 quid.
No way.
Yeah, in a small boxing ring. And we were stitched up a bit because he came over with Shaolin, Vitor Ribera, his trainer, and they said, can you get him a fight? And I said, well, who is he? He's just one of my students.
Just a blue belt.
He's had one fight in Brazil. I said, he's had one fight in Brazil, but how many fights has he had in Holland, Germany? And they said, no, he's a brown belt in BJJ, just one of my new MMA guys. So I lined him up with a guy called Phil Harris, who ended up in the UFC. And Phil was almost in the British Olympic judo team. He was high level, and high level MMA. And they got in the ring, and Jose Aldo came out and low kicked Phil Harris in the first round, and Phil went white. And you never heard, it sounded like he chopped his muscle in half. And then he came over and elbowed him and cut him like this in 30 seconds. And I thought, fuck. I felt bad that I'd put the match up together and fallen for the. But these Brazilians, these Brazilians, they're.
That's why what you're doing. That's
creative in what they tell you.
That's why what you're doing today, Sean, is going to be monumental because, like Grant said and myself, we've done many shows, and you never know until later on. These guys, that's the platform which they need to launch. You could be the next Messi, Ronaldo. It could be one day. So that's why this is so important. And I think we're going to wrap up soon, guys, because Grant's got a long day ahead, and we don't want him to have a heat stroke. And Sean's got to play a lot of games and watch. So before we go, one message to people, and why should they come down here?
I think it's a new show, a new way to play football. It's the World Cup is just around the corner as well, and it's the Total Spirit. It's a beautiful location. It's going to be tons of talent, so that's the whole reason.
And Grant, what would you say to people? Why should they come?
I'll echo that. And love it or hate it, football is the most popular sport on the planet. And
street football.
Well,
there is more people play street football than football actually. In statistic, there is more people play diversified form of football,
right,
and so that's why we need a professional form.
Yeah. So everyone knows football. Every single person on the planet virtually knows what football is. And having a format like this, and I think it has evolved. Sean was going through the rules with me earlier, which I had to really get up to speed with, and it isn't that complicated. But the way it's been put together, I can see it's going to be really entertaining. And we're going to see, like you say, we could see some guys now who turn out to be future superstars.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, already I'm warmed up, but not from like stretching, just from the heat. Cars are here, there's ladies, there's snacks, there's children. You guys, you excited for the show today? Yeah. I can't hear you. Are you excited or not? Yeah. Okay, there you go. 100 people there. No, there's 4, but they were quite loud. So, guys, get down to Burge Park. Today, what time does the show start?
2 p.m.
This is obviously going to go anyway after this, so I don't know why I did that shout out. But enjoy, and hopefully we'll have a highlight reel coming out after of the event. It looks amazing. Music, DJs, music, snacks. Red Bull, because he's sponsored by, I'm not, ROR Water. And I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Sean. And I'm sure you'll see a lot more of our good-looking and ugly faces very soon.
Bye-bye.
Us.